Okay, so um, I know my page mainly does Subaru content, but I'm also an HVAC technician, so I'm gonna start doing some more HVAC videos because this is kind of the time where all the stuff that I bought about between 6 and 8 years ago, did it over a 2 year span, is starting to get obsolete or fail, and I'm replacing my tools now. So, um, hold on real quick. So, this right here is the older. Alright, hold on. Dang it. There we go. So, they look similar. The one on the right is. Dang it. The one on the right is the sc660, and the one on the left is the sc680. So this is kind of a comparison between the two. So I mean, it's pretty similar. They still have the temp switches in the same spot. They still have T1 and T2 in the same spot. Sync is now wireless on and off. The rest of the buttons are the same. Starting with the selector, we got AC, and then we have the AC 400. This is AC 100 and AC 600. Then we got our VDC and ADC, which is volts DC or amps DC. Volts DC, amps DC. Then we have our hertz. We have our UADC, L1, L2, L1, L3. So that's to check the phase of the motor, if I remember right. I've never used it. And then we have T1 and T2 for our temperature probes. This is where we now have where we used to have our Bluetooth to link to job link device. That is now MFD, microfarads, non-contact voltage, microfarads, then non-contact voltage, then ohms. This one we have ohms, diodes, same with here, ohms and diodes. And then now we have watts. So, and picofarads. I believe that's what PF is. So, that's pretty neat. And then if you go on to the heads, you'll notice that this one is just, if we line them up, this is slightly longer. This one's slightly shorter, and it's more stubbed and round, while this is more egg-shaped. I wish they would have kept it the same size. They're pretty much the same weight. So literally the only reason I went from the 660 to the 680 is because, excuse me, I got caught in a snowstorm, and it was a blizzard, whiteout conditions, 10 feet, couldn't see, swinging a crane, And in the process of swinging the unit and setting the package unit on the roof, my Vito Pro Pack filled up with snow. I had it open, testing voltage and everything, when I was taking the disconnect apart to pull the old unit off. So this ended up getting super packed with snow, and then it got wet. It's been about, today's Friday, it happened Monday. So it's been about 4 days. It's finally dried out to the point where it may start working. I used it today and didn't have any issues. This came in this evening, so I haven't got a chance to use the 680 yet. So I'm going to start using the 680 to see where and how the differences are between the two. So this is just a physical observation difference between the two, and after 30 days of using the 680, I'll come back and make another comparison video on what the differences are and everything else like that. But the really cool thing is the 660 just came with the normal, standard prongs, whatever you want to call them, leads that have the removable caps and everything, right? And then it also came with a set of alligator ones, and that was it. I had to even buy my own K terminals when I got this. Let's see. Where's the spot at? So there's another guy in the company that has one of these. Oh yeah, and Inrush. And Inrush is still in the same location. The trigger looks slightly different, not by much. It's very negligible. And then they both rotate, right? So you can get that awesome. I like to use that rotate thing so I can hook it and see my voltage, because you don't always get to use your magnets. And they both do have the magnet strip on the back that flips out. Gosh, there's another thing that I was gonna get into before I did that. Oh yeah, the light. So, right, and if you look, this light is like flush with the stuff, with the contour of the inside of the amp clamp. This one is not. As you can see, it's raised above and it's got a pretty decent edge. I mean, this one's slightly, but it's almost smooth with it. While this one, that could be a real problem. And then 660, so the lenses are different. And then the 660, like if you guys seen the fieldpiece video, it comes with 2 K terminals. It comes with the alligators, like the 660 came with the alligators, but it did not come with the K terminals. And then this is what I'm super excited about, because I do a lot of VRF stuff, and these are for micro pins. So before I did HVAC, I was a ASE certified Toyota Lexus Scion mechanic. And there's a lot of micro pins and stuff like that in 2013 and newer vehicles. So what I had to do when I worked on cars was I used the T-pin sewing needles, and I'd back probe harnesses that way, so I didn't have to damage anything, and I could still get a legit reading. The T-pins, the continuity on it is so negligible you'd never notice it, and it doesn't affect readings of sensors or anything else. So I transferred that knowledge into my HVAC, and I was using when I used my 660 meter, I had to use T-pins on a lot of the VRF connectors and stuff because they were micro pins, just like in the automotive industry. So I was back probing with T-pins, but now they have these, and I can't wait to use them because if these work great and they last, that means no more T-pins. But you could use T-pins. It's a good trick if you don't have these to be able to get into those stupid little harnesses and stuff like that, where you got to test both sides to verify voltage on the board, right? You can just use your normal leads, but when you got to verify ohms on like on a variable speed freaking fan motor, then you got to get into that harness, you know, like 1 and 4 might be 100,000 ohms, but freaking 2 to 4 is supposed to be OL, and 3 to 4 is supposed to be 100,000 ohms, and 4 to 5 is supposed to be OL. So that will be great when you're working on that type of stuff. So, yeah, that's a short 11-minute video on me rambling about meters. If you guys have anything you want me to try with it or whatever, or you got any advice, just throw it in the link down below, or throw it in the comment section down below. Give me a heads up if there's something you want me to try it out on, because this new meter is also supposed to be rated to like 1,000 volts versus the old 660 that was only rated to like 600 volts. So and then let's check out the backup light. Yep, backup light is still blue. Yeah, buddy. So, oh, you notice that? That must be, huh. That's weird. Huh. Wonder if that quit working. So anyways, if you had a 660 and you're looking at going to the 680, you're basically getting the same meter, other than that head being a little different. It's identical. You'll have to get a little used to the clock dial on them. And then, but other than that, they're identical. The screens are the same size. And you're getting a little more goodies this time around. Oh, and the other thing, this will link straight to the JobLink app on your phone, and you don't have to have the transmitter in between the 680 and your app. When you on the 660, you have to have the JobLink in order to shoot this to the JobLink and then to your phone. So it kind of had to have a transmitter in it. I also have the new VP fieldpiece 6/7 CFM pump I'm going to make a video on. I also have the new, the True Blue 3/4 inch hoses. I bought the whole kit, so I'll make a video on that when I'm pulling a system down. Yeah, I just got a lot of cool different stuff. So I've always had fieldpiece, but now that I'm getting all this newer fieldpiece stuff, I'm linking it all through the app so I can build a better sheet for my customer. And then you got undisputable evidence. It'd be really nice if you could include pictures into the app, you know, when you find a cracked heat exchanger or something like that. That'd be super nice. But yeah, now we're up to 15 minutes, so I'm gonna call it a day.